the best part. Listen. I decided that every Al Haymon video I'm going to do to further educate my boxing audience is I'm going to play a song from an artist who once said, "Thank you, Al Haymon, thank you so much." Follow me. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I may talk a little fast, but we're going to talk about some boxing. So, fans have been upset with Al Haymon. If you don't know, Al Haymon is the guy who boxers thank after every single one of their fights. You got that other guy who is not Al Haymon, but he's Sam Watson, the father of the brothers Watsons, those two twins that's always in the ring taking everybody's shine. So, moving forward, you get a guy like Danny Garcia after he wins, I just want to thank Al Haymon. Automatically, wait, who is Al Haymon? Oh, it's that black guy in the back. No, that's not him. He's just the guy making sure that you say thank you, Al Haymon. He's the one that's like, and then you say thank you, Al Haymon. He's like, all right, cool, all right, we out. So, Al Haymon has created a whole entirely new position or role in boxing called the advisor. Now, what an advisor does is an advisor, let's say you're Adrian Bro and I'm Al Haymon. I say, you Adrian Bro, and say, I'm the can man. Anybody can get it, man. Mexican, Argentinian can, Canadian can. So I say to him, okay, you want Lucas Matisse? And he said, yeah, I want Lucas Matisse. I called him out twice. Can man. AB. But me as your advisor, I say, I advise you not to call him out anymore. And then you can say and insist that you still want to fight. And I say, I advise you to not fight him because of my advice is that he will beat you up. So when it comes to contracts and fighting on networks, Peter Quillen, I advise you to drop your title and walk away from that 1.4 mil. I advise you that if you take that fight on HBO that you'll be voiding your contract. So you have a manager. A manager is not supposed to promote the fighters. You have the promoter who's responsible for marketing the fighter and putting, like the event together and everything. You got Al Haymon who manages the fighters and puts the events together, the sponsors and everything. So when you see those Golden Boy events and everything, that's Al Haymon putting all that stuff together. Now, when you think of who's really in charge, and I ask this question. Imagine they have some type of press event, or not a press event. Imagine if they have some type of conference, some type of annual conference where all Al Haymon fighters meet up all at once. Let's say they rent out some conference room in the Courtyard Marriott or somewhere. So imagine if you got in this one room, you got Danny Garcia, you got Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Marcus McDonough, Floyd Mayweather. I said Amir Khan already, yeah. Lamont Peterson, Zab Judah, Paulie Malignaggi, Devin Alexander, and the list goes on. Leo Santa Cruz, and the list, Chad Dawson, and the list goes on. So imagine if you Danny Garcia, you looking around, and you're like, okay, well, we're gonna get it popping. But imagine if you're a guy like a disgruntled employee, like a Robert Guerrero, or how outspoken Keith Thurman has been. Imagine if you're one of those fighters looking around like, damn, I don't like this shit. I want to have big fights. I want to beat all these guys up. But you looking around and like, Al Haymon can get shit popping anytime he want. Look at all these fighters. So when you seeing all those fighters and everybody signing on the board, you're going to be thinking like, this guy must have a plan. So let's talk about as it is right now. Richard Schaefer is gone. Richard Schaefer cannot do nothing until 2018. Stop saying his name. One of the reasons why he's gone is because Oscar De La Hoya came back and said, I'm the golden boy. It was found out allegedly that Al Haymon and Richard Schaefer were trying to buy out Oscar De La Hoya and move on with their in-house boxing and their ultimate grand scheme of having all 7 Dragon Balls. So when you think about Al Haymon now, okay, he's on his own. Richard Schaefer is going, can't do nothing. Not meaning they can't still talk on the phone. But what I've been hearing allegedly is a lot of fighters sign up with Al Haymon because what he does is not only does he get you on TV, but he maximizes your profits, and also I've been hearing that he helps fighters put their money in the Swiss bank accounts. Now we all know about the Swiss banks. If you don't know, boy oh boy, I'm not going to say it, but it starts with M, and the first word is money, then the last word starts with an L, which is But long story short, boxers are taken care of. I have no issue with that in any way, shape, or form. Where I have the issue is where I get my cable bill and I pay for these fights, and then I see I got this Showtime network. I don't watch Ray Donovan. Dexter's been off for probably damn near 2 years. I don't watch nothing but boxing. And I'm thinking, you giving me Danny Garcia versus Rod Salka? Adrian Broner versus Emmanuel Taylor is good, but then you give me Lucas Martin, Matista versus Roberto Ortiz, looking like Alberto Del Rio. So, the question I have once again is, what is the plan? Now, Al Haymon has a plan as far as what I'm seeing is, look at the website, www.heymanboxing.com. You see it says Haymon Sports and then Haymon Boxing, 2014 LLC. He's hired an employee, and allegedly the guy name is Alex Belfort. You need to look all this up. So what I'm thinking is this. Okay, we've heard about the rumblings of Al Haymon fighters fighting on NBC. So imagine, right? What if on Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's Day, there was boxing on? You know how it's football, and you know like how you're cleaning up, and you know you're usually up late because there's usually not no work or nothing the next day. I'm talking about if it's Thanksgiving, you know, or if it's Christmas. So imagine, let's say for example, it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you're like, oh shit, they got Adrian Broner versus Matisse on NBC tonight. But regular NBC. Now the word on the curb is Al Haymon top tier fighters will be fighting on Showtime, as long as that can last with Golden Boy Promotions. We don't know what's going on with that. Then you got Al Haymon fighters fighting on NBC, a few NBC appearances a year. So, and it'll be major appearances a year because you're fighting on national television. Ratings gonna be through the roof. Whoever the boxer is, and also is helping the sport of boxing by building new fans, by exposing boxing to all fans. I mean, all people who are able to watch, get to a TV, digital and analog. So, well, no more analog. So, when you think about NBC Sports already has boxing. Of course, Al Haymon fighters are fighting on Fox Sports 1, but remember, Fox Sports is a Golden Boy Promotions deal. So you got Al Haymon fighters like the Charlo brothers, maybe Zav Judah, Paulie Malignaggi, fighting on NBC Sports. And if I'm correct, Paulie Malignaggi has covered some NBC Sports fights in the past before Fox Sports 1. So right now, NBC Sports has fighters like Steve Cunningham, Curtis Stevens at one point in time, Vojislav Glaskov, Tomas Adamic, you know, fighters along that nature, Garrett Wilson. So when you look at, okay, well, what's this we're hearing about Al Haymon getting his own subscription network? So see, right now, it's like all the stars are aligning, and we really don't know anything until next year, because if you look at the facts of right now, I can't say Marcos McDonald, Robert Guerrero, Keith Thurman, Lucas Matisse, Adrian Broner, you know, Amir Khan, you know, and that's just a few, do not have fights set up for the winner. We're hearing them rumor and all this stuff. They do not have fights set up in the winner. Danny Garcia versus Victor Polstar may be going to a purse bid, and then Rock Nation is going to come in and shut down house. So right now, Al Haymon is backed in the corner, but see, he has those assets to get shit popping anytime he wants. He can put on super fights anytime he feels. You know, so he's got to be saying like, okay, I know things are rough now. but what you gonna do? You can't get rid of me. I got all the fighters. You see what I'm saying? Creepy. So, I used to be tough on Al Haymon, but then the more I'm starting to learn about the business, the more I'm starting to learn like, okay, well, it's a dirty sport, and I can't keep pointing the finger at him, because right now, if he does have a plan, I have to wait till it follows through, before I start judging him like crucially, because right now I'm pissed because we're getting these bullshit fights. I think they should put on the best fights at all times available, but that's not how boxing works. Remember, boxing is a business to a certain extent. Adrian Broner is the perfect example. You know, he's fought Carlos Molina, then Emmanuel Taylor, calling out Lucas Martin, Matisse from Matisse, and we know he's not ready, so we can imagine him fighting somebody like a John Molina or something next. They was talking about some Humberto Soto. Ha ha ha. They're not putting him in there with him. So when you think about Amir Khan versus Josezito Lopez, that's what Al Haymon does for you. But you have to think, how long can this last? Because Showtime, you know, if you think about Steven Espinoza, the head of Showtime Sports, if you think about Floyd Mayweather, okay, but you have to also think about the fact that, well, they still have to continue to bring in ratings, you know, while, if Mayweather is gone, they have to still continue to generate revenue. So they can't afford to be doing, you know, bullshit fights like Garcia versus Rod Salka continuously, even though it did good ratings because of people like me. You know, I don't, like I said, Dexter been on for God knows how long. I don't watch no Ray Donovan. You know, I mean, the freak in me may want to go watch Masters of Sex sometimes. It's not really sex. It's like some talking. So, as it stands right now, people are always saying, you know, over the years, first Don King was supposed to take over boxing. Rick Glasser at one point in time was supposed to take over boxing. Bob Arum was supposed to take over boxing. Probably ever said his name. Luther Bell was supposed to take over boxing. Then they're saying Al Haymon is going to take over boxing. If it's true that he's working on getting a all boxing network, kind of like the WWE network. If you don't know what the WWE network is, it's wrestling. So it's an online streaming service to where, as in WrestleMania, SummerSlam, all their pay-per-views live, you get to stream via the WWE network. So basically, for about $9.99, $10 a month, that's crazy. I'm giving them the commercial. You get to get all WWE material, you know, that they've ever produced, all that NWO, all that stuff. While you get to watch all the live Monday Night Raws and all the not Monday Night Raws, but afterwards, and then all the pay-per-views live streaming as they're going on. So if Al Haymon plans on going that route, to whereas he's doing something like Box Nation, see, I would love to see something like that, but with all the different promotional companies and everything, it's hard to get the rights to those older fights. In my opinion, America, we need a channel, and I don't think Al Haymon could be able to do this. I don't even think he cares, to be honest with you. But if he was to succeed in getting us a channel in the United States, where, like, kind of like Box Nation, where we were able to see those overseas fights, and then, you know, like when it comes to the major fights over here, they show them on the networks. Because on Box Nation overseas, it's a subscription network, but you get boxing, but you also get the fights that we have to pay for over here in the United States. So, for example, in a day, they can get a Carl Froch versus George Groves and a Manny Pacquiao fight in the same day. You know, and I'm dead serious. So, even though Carl Froch fights on Sky Sport, yeah, I know. So, I think that Al Haymon just wants to have his own fighters fighting each other, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if this is his matchmaking, you know, then do we really want to have him running boxing? Do we really want to have him as his own entity in boxing? What's next? He gonna start making his belts? It already looks like the WWE. But before I start getting emotional, because I get emotional talking about Al Haymon, don't get me started. I'm T Street Controversy, and this is T Street Controversy Live. So to run it down to what we talked about, oh, by the way, all my videos and boxing articles related to this video and any other videos I do on here are right below at Real Combat Media. And I have a boxing forum right below. Listen to me. I'm behind. I'll be caught up with everything in about 2 weeks. You know, so my channel is still practically brand new. Not even, wait, tomorrow my channel is officially 2 months old. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, send a friend request. The link is right below the Real Combat Media link. Also, shout out to GTM Sports Banners and also El Dibiato. My mom told me not to say that. You know what I'm talking about, that long story. I'm going to put the link below. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live.